Almost Famous. Almost Famous was released in 2000 and is written and directed by Cameron Crowe and stars Patrick Fugit, Billy Crudup, Hudson, with Jason Lee, Frances McDormand and Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman. And basically the film tells the story of William Miller, played by Patrick Fugit in the film, who's this young musical journalist who's kind of missed out on a year of his adolescent life. However, he meets the fictional band Stillwater, and basically, long story short, he ends up going on a tour with this band. And on the tour, he's meant to write about what he sees in the band. But then he starts seeing some of the bad things take place, the drug taking, the affairs, and ultimately the arguments between the band. And so in the end, you don't know whether he's going to lie and make the band look good, or whether he's ultimately going to write the truth about what he saw on the tour. And that's basically the main plot of the film. At the same time, you get some subplots in the film, some other characters popping in out there. For example, you get this character called Hammond in the film, played by Billy Crudup, who's a lead guitarist of this fictional band Stillwater. And you think he's one character, but then he turns out to be another, not to give too much away. And at the same time, though, you also get this character called Penny Lane in the film, played by Hudson, who you think is just a groupie, but then you realise that there's more to her than you initially thought. And at the same time, you also get this character played by Frances McDormand in the film, who's the overprotective mother of William Miller, and basically she's constantly ringing him throughout the film, constantly wants to know where he is. And at the same time, though, you also get this character played by Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman in the film, who's also ringing up William Miller every now and then throughout the film, and when he pops up in and out of the film, he gives insight into the history and the world of rock and roll. But the main plot of the film was about William Miller, played by Patrick Fugit, who's this young musical journalist who goes on a tour of the fictional band Stillwater, and on this tour he's meant to write about what he's seen, then he sees some of the bad things take place, and so in the end, you don't know whether he's going to make the band look good and lie about what he saw, or whether he's ultimately going to write the truth. And that's basically the plot of Almost Famous. And honestly, I think this movie is just brilliant. It's so enjoyable, and it's such a fun film to watch. Like, it's not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a completely perfect film, because I don't think it is. I think it's got some pacing issues. At the same time, though, I think some of the dialogue in the film isn't as effective as I think the film wants it to be. Saying all that, though, I don't care. I think this is such a fun and wonderful film. It works for so many reasons. I mean, the film flows well. It's really fun to watch. It's really enjoyable to watch. It's got some really enjoyable performances. I mean, Patrick Fugit's great as the protagonist of the film. You know, William Miller, this really odd kid, and he plays it so well. I really like watching him in the film. At the same time, like Billy Crudup's good, you know, Hammond, the lead guitarist of the fictional band Stillwater. And at the same time, though, you know, Hudson's great in the film. Penny Lane, this groupie that you think is one character, then turns out to be another. And I really like the way Hudson played that character. Actually, I think it's one of the best of Hudson performances. And unfortunately, Hudson has now gone on to make some really rubbish comedies, but he's actually really good in this film. And at the same time, though, the film's got a great supporting cast. Not only do you have like Frances McDormand and Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman in the film, who are both great, you also got loads of other actors that are popping out of the film that I just haven't mentioned yet. Like Jimmy Fallon's in the film at one stage, and he's great in there. Zoey Deschanel pops up at one stage as William Miller's sister, and she's great in there. But at the same time, though, like I said, you do have Frances McDormand and you do have Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman, who are both brilliant. Like Frances McDormand plays the overprotective mother, and she plays that part so well. Honestly, she's brilliant in the film, and I really like the scenes where she pops. At the same time, though, Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman's brilliant in the film. I think with Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman's film, when you're watching it, yeah, he pops up and you're like, oh, that's Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman. He's giving off a fantastic performance, and then you almost forget that he's in it, and then he pops up again like later on in the film, and like, oh, Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman, I forgot he was in the film, and then he's just so great. Those things when he pops in there, he always seems to have like he's always delivering like a really effective line of dialogue. Like even so, I did say not every line of dialogue was effective for me personally in this film. There was a part of it with some of the other characters, you know, like William Miller, you know, Penny Lane, Hammond, which weren't as effective as they couldn't be. You know, some of the dialogue between those three characters, which weren't as effective as they could have been. With Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman, every single line that, you know, Phillip, Seymour, Hoffman delivers as the character he's playing is just, it's so brilliant. I absolutely love this performance in the film. But at the same time, though, not only does the film just have these really enjoyable performances, it's also fueled by this absolutely fantastic soundtrack, full of just such great songs, like, you know, Mona Lisa and Mad Hatters by Elton John, My Cherry Army by Stevie Wonder, you know, Paranoid by Black Sabbath, The Wind by Cat Stevens, and so many other fantastic songs by like the Beach Boys and Led Zeppelin, and so on and so on and so on, which just make the film work so well, because you have these fantastic scenes in the film where you just get this really good song playing in the background and you just can't help but smile, and that's what makes the film work. You know, on the surface, these scenes might just be enjoyable, you might be having a really enjoyable time, but then when you look deeper into it, you know, these scenes which are just enjoyable on the surface actually have quite a deeper meaning to them, and that's what I really like about it. Like, there's so many scenes in the film, like there's one scene in particular where you see Penny Lane, you know, Hudson's character, overdose and after taking too much drugs, and then you just have My Cherry Army by Stevie Wonder playing in the background. And on the surface, that's just quite an interesting scene, you know, the way it's structured and everything. But then, when you look more into it, it's like, oh, that's really meaningful, you know, the way Cameron Crowe shot that scene, the way it's constructed that scene, and the way the songs played in the background, just make that scene, you know, that tad bit more meaningful, and at the same time, though, really interesting to watch. But at the same time, there's some really enjoyable moments in the film, you know, moments where you hear a really good song playing in the background, and you just can't help but, you know, bob your head along to the song that's playing in the background. At the same time, there's got loads of great songs that just pop in and out of the film, and that's that's just fantastic. The fact that this has got a fantastic soundtrack full of great songs. Literally, from the opening few minutes, you have these fantastic songs, and you're just like, yeah, now I'm in for a film about music, a film about, you know, a band, from someone who understands music, from someone who playing really good songs and everything. That's just what makes the film work. I mean, it is well made, it is really well put together, and I really like this film because it's got so many enjoyable moments and just so many fun moments, and even so it does have its serious moments. I know, you know, those dark moments in the film and those moments when you see the band falling out and everything. The film does have those serious moments, but it is still really enjoyable because, you know, those moments are combined together in the best way. There's one scene in particular which everyone talks about when it comes to this film, which I'm going to talk about now anyway, but basically that scene is where you see the band, you've seen the band have this big argument, and then they all get back on the tour bus together, and then they're not speaking, but then Tiny Dancer by Elton John comes on the radio, and then they all just start singing along to it. They just, things like that, when you realise what combines these, what binds these characters together. Music, it makes the film work, just moments like that. And I know that's like the moment everyone talks about, but honestly, that was the moment in the film I just went, yeah, I'm gonna love this film now. I mean, I was really liking it up to that point, but then that was the part where I just went, now I'm loving it. And that's what makes the film work. The fact that it is so enjoyable, it is so fun to watch, but at the same time though, it does have its serious moments, which are also combined by really fun moments. And I really like it. It's my favourite Cameron Crowe film, and I have seen Jerry Maguire. I reviewed that recently on this channel. I thought Jerry Maguire was a good film, but I must admit, I prefer this one. At the same time though, I have also seen Vanilla Sky, which was actually released a year after this one. And I did like Vanilla Sky, I thought it was a good film, but the thing is Almost Famous, the reason it's my favourite Cameron Crowe film, it's because you feel like Cameron Crowe understands his world that he's created in the best way. He understands these characters, and it is just so fun to watch and so enjoyable to watch, but at the same time though, you know, it does have those meaningful moments in the film which just make it work so well. Honestly, it's such a good film, it really is. And the thing is, I've seen this film twice now, and the first time I watched it, I literally stuck it on, not really thinking much of it. And even though it did take about 10 minutes to get into, it did not feel like I was watching a 2.25 film. It did not feel like this film lasted for 2 hours and a quarter. Honestly, the film felt like it just went by like that. It really did, because honestly, I just kind of sat there and I smiled, I went along with it, and oh my god, it was such an enjoyable time watching the first time. And even the second time I watched the film, you know, even so you know where things are coming and going, I still really enjoyed it the second time, because it's such a wonderful film to watch, and it's so fun, and it's so enjoyable, and it's just one of those films, like, I know it sounds cringy, but I'm going to say it anyway, it's one of those real feel-good films, which just work so well. Like, by no means is it perfect, and I do think it has its problems, but I'm not going to dwell on those problems, because for me, it works so well. For me, when I sat down to watch the film last night for the second time, to do this review today, honestly, I just went along with it, and I just smiled, and just laughed, and just had so much fun with it, and that's what makes the film work. It's just fun, and it's just feel good, and it's just a fun and really good film, and honestly, just so wonderful to watch. And you know what? I absolutely love this film, I really do. The more I talk about it, the more I think about it, I want to go and see it for the third time. It's that good. Honestly, I just think this film's great in every single way, and I really love watching it, and I can't recommend it enough. So, all in all, I'm going to say that Almost Famous, I'm going to say that's a 9 out of 10. I mean, honestly, I just think this is a film which everyone should watch. I really do. I think it's such a wonderful film that you can't help but go along with it and be swept away by this fantastic film that Cameron Crowe has made. At the same time, you know, the great soundtrack that follows it, and the performances, the really enjoyable performances, and the really funny moments. The funny moments in the film I haven't really talked about, because there are some really funny moments in the film that generally made me laugh. And I've talked about it before, but it's actually had to make me laugh in the film. But the thing is, though, I laughed quite a few times in the film, and you know, just the fact that I just kind of sat there, just went by like that, because I was so invested and just loving this film so much. I mean, yes, by no means is it perfect, that's not what I'm saying, but for me, it's such a great film, and it's so wonderful to watch, it's so enjoyable to watch, but at the same time, though, it does have those moments which are so meaningful and so fantastic to watch, and that's what makes the film work. The fact that, you know, Cameron Crowe, who wrote the script for the film, he also directed the film, you know, he understands as well, he understands the characters he's created, and you just have so much fun watching. At the same time, though, it does have those serious moments, but also has a really enjoyable moment, and that's what makes the film work. The fact that it, you know, perfectly balances those moments, to the point that you just sit there, and you smile along with the film. Honestly, I did both times, and I absolutely love this film. It's got some really enjoyable performances, it's got an absolutely fantastic soundtrack, and it's just so well written, and it's such a fun and wonderful film to watch. Honestly, I can't recommend it enough. I absolutely love this film. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that Almost Famous is a 9 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, what do you think of Almost Famous? Please do comment down below and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching. If you haven't yet, please do click down below and like, subscribe on the video. I'm looking forward to many more, both film and TV coming very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, but bye for now. Bye!